Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of the Daily Strange Stories. I'm John Brown. Our lead story for today. Latest on Thokoza CIT Heist, robber died on the spot after bombing himself, leg found at crime scene. The date was the 6th of May 2025. The scene, Phola Park Extension 5 in Thokoza, a town on the East Rand of Gauteng in South Africa. What started as a brazen cash-in-transit (CIT) heist quickly turned into a gruesome spectacle, leaving investigators piecing together not just a crime, but a human body. For months, perhaps even years, a group of criminals had been meticulously planning their next big score, a cash van carrying untold riches. Their target was a Fidelity cash van, a vehicle designed to withstand attacks, but not impervious to the destructive power of modern explosives. The gang, numbering around 10, had a plan, a silver BMW, and a deadly arsenal. Just after 8 a.m., the quiet morning in Thokoza was shattered. The silver BMW, driven by one of the gang members, rammed head-on into the Fidelity cash van at the intersection of Khumalo and Murubisi streets. The impact brought the van to a screeching halt, setting the stage for the next phase of the operation. Eyewitnesses later recounted seeing at least 10 armed men jump out of the BMW and surrounding vehicles. They were heavily armed, their faces concealed, their intentions clear, to get their hands on the cash inside the van. But their plan was about to go horribly wrong. One of the robbers, carrying live explosives, made a fatal move. He exited the vehicle, intending to plant the explosives on the cash van, a calculated act to breach its reinforced armor. But fate, or perhaps a miscalculation, intervened. The explosive device detonated prematurely. The explosion was deafening. Residents nearby described the ground shaking, windows rattling, and a cloud of dust and debris filling the air. The force of the blast was immense, and the robber carrying the explosives bore the full brunt of it. Initial reports suggested that the robber had merely lost a leg in the explosion. Graphic images quickly spread across social media, showing what appeared to be a severed leg, still clad in a sock, lying near the wrecked cash van. It was a shocking image, a stark reminder of the violence that had unfolded in their community. But the truth was far more horrifying. As police forensic teams began to comb the scene, they uncovered a grim reality. The robber hadn't just lost a leg, he had been obliterated by the force of the explosion. His body was in pieces, scattered across the neighborhood. Investigators found fragments of human flesh on rooftops, in people's yards, and strewn across the streets. The scene was a macabre jigsaw puzzle, with forensic experts tasked with collecting and identifying the dismembered remains. It was a gruesome task, one that would haunt them for years to come. According to Gauteng Hawk spokesperson Colonel Mokale, the suspected robbers' chopped body parts were found on rooftops of the neighboring houses at the corner of Khumalo and Murubisi streets. Mokale said it was after police had arrived at the scene and the commotion had died down that residents started seeing mangled pieces of body parts in their yards and on the streets. The discovery of the scattered remains left the Thokoza community shell-shocked. Residents who had initially rushed to the scene, drawn by the explosion and gunfire, were now confronted with the horrific aftermath. What they thought was a robbery gone wrong was, in fact, a scene of unimaginable carnage. One resident recounted that the experience had been terrifying. The resident said that at first, it sounded like a crash, followed by gunshots, and then a massive explosion that shook their house. The resident added that when they looked outside, it was full of people, dust, and the van, and that they heard someone had lost their leg right there. Another witness, a man who was doing maintenance nearby, described a white Volkswagen Golf GTI arriving at the scene, from which men emerged and opened fire. The witness stated that they appeared to be trying to assist with the heist, but after the bomb detonated and injured one of their own, they grabbed him and fled, failing to obtain any money. Despite the chaos and the death of one of their own, the remaining members of the gang managed to escape. They fled the scene in 3 other vehicles, leaving behind the wrecked BMW and the dismembered remains of their comrade. The cash van, though damaged, remained intact, its precious cargo untouched. Police spokesperson Captain Tintswalo Sibego confirmed that no cash was stolen during the attempted robbery. Sibego stated that the cash van had been rammed by a silver BMW. and preliminary investigations indicated that one suspect sustained a serious injury during the explosion. She also noted that the vehicle used in the ramming was left behind at the scene. The failed heist and the death of the robber raised many questions. Who was this man who had died in such a violent manner? What motivated him to risk his life for money? And who were his accomplices? Hawks investigators are now working to piece together the identity of the deceased robber and track down the remaining members of the gang. The pieces of human flesh found at the scene are being used to build a DNA profile of the suspect, which could provide crucial clues to his identity and connections. Colonel Mokale stated that, to date, no one has come forward to claim the body parts. She indicated that if the remains go unclaimed, they would be buried in a pauper's funeral. She further explained that this situation underscores the danger of approaching a cash van that has been bombed to pick up money after the robbers have left, as other explosives might not have detonated yet. The Thokoza incident has once again highlighted the growing problem of CIT heists in South Africa. These crimes are not only dangerous and violent, but they also have a devastating impact on communities. According to the Cash-in-Transit Association of SA, C2SA, at least 76 cash-in-transit heists have been recorded in South Africa since the beginning of the year. This means that, on average, one heist is committed every 2 days. A total of 18 security guards have been killed in these robberies since January last year. KwaZulu-Natal has recorded the highest number of CIT robberies this year, 34%, followed by Gauteng with 31%. C2SA's Grant Clark noted that as of the beginning of May 2025, 80% of the CIT robberies were perpetrated in Gauteng. While C2SA is collaborating with various role players to combat CIT heists through information sharing, crime risk identification, cutting-edge technology, and an offender-focused approach, the problem persists. Clark emphasized that arresting and convicting the criminals is essential to winning the war against CIT heists. He warned that even if there is a decline in the number of heists, the robbers will continue to plan and execute new attacks if they are not brought to justice. Police crime statistics show that 238 heists were recorded in 2021 to 2022 and 2022 to 2023. In 2023 to 2024, the number dropped to 211, a decrease of 27 incidents. However, the statistics do not tell the whole story. The violence and trauma associated with these crimes continue to plague communities across South Africa. Dr. Henny Lochner, a senior lecturer in forensic and criminal investigation science at UNISA, believes that the police will not win the war against CIT heists unless the perpetrators are arrested and convicted. He explained that CIT groups are formed after a successful robbery, and the members then go their separate ways, each looking for a new target. The Thokoza incident is a reminder of the dangers faced by those who transport cash and the lengths to which criminals will go to obtain it. It also highlights the need for a multifaceted approach to combat CIT heists, including improved security measures, better intelligence gathering, and more effective law enforcement. In the meantime, the Thokoza community is left to grapple with the aftermath of the failed heist and the gruesome death of the robber. The images of the severed leg and the scattered remains will likely linger in their minds for years to come. The incident has shattered their sense of security and left them wondering what the future holds. As the investigation continues, one thing is clear: the war against cash-in-transit heists in South Africa is far from over. And until the perpetrators are brought to justice, communities like Thokoza will continue to live in fear. Thank you for watching this news video. We'd love to hear what you think about this story, so please leave your comments below. We read them all and appreciate your insights. Join us again in our next strange story. Until then, goodbye.